Now, though, we're taking you live to Perth. The Assistant Defence Minister Andrew Hastie is releasing the annual cyber threat report. Let's listen in.
So it's a very simple thing and it's very easy to get hacked, which is why we need people to take action.
A lot of consumers would be savvy enough to not click the link that comes to their phone and look suspicious, but they might want to know how they can prevent receiving those emails and messages in the first place. What would you say?
That's a great question because I still get those texts myself. I certainly get them on my emails. So this is a problem that our service providers need to work through as well. And I know they are aware of it. They're working very hard because they don't want to be responsible for fraudulent behaviour. Not that they are, but they certainly don't want to enable it. So they're working very hard, as I mentioned, with our law enforcement and intelligence agencies to disrupt this fraudulent behaviour and also alert people to scams when they come through.
So it's the service providers that it comes back down to, because I know in my own phone I'm getting messages every couple of days from DHL and different companies and stuff like that. So is it just the service provider, or is there more the government can do to stop these messages coming through, because they seem to be so much more frequent?
And this is why it's so important that people, when they experience a scam or a ransomware attack, they report it to the Australian Cybersecurity Centre. Really important, because that builds out a threat picture. We can understand what's going on and we can send out the alerts, which then equips people and prevents them from clicking on things. So look, these people are very sophisticated in the way they do these things, and it's just constantly evolving. We're never going to reach a point where we can rest on our laurels and be content, and that's why we need these regular updates. And that's why the joint cybersecurity centres around the country, the one right here in Perth, is so important, because we're building a network to defeat the networks online that are trying to harm us. And that's why the relationship that people here have with industry are so critical.
So if someone does click on a link, what do they need to do? What's the next step? They go, oh, I think that's not a true link. What do I do?
Well, I think the first thing is to, generally speaking, to get into the detail. And I don't want to be prescriptive here because these scams have different forms, but certainly let's talk about the DHL text. It always comes from an unknown number. And there's always some urgency or emotional pull. Click on this, your parcel's being held up, or you need to do something urgently. I would encourage all Australians to be very circumspect about clicking on urgent messages that they're not sure about or where they've come from.
And so when they do click on the link and they've got, oh, maybe that's a scam, what do? Do they need to change their passwords? What's the advice?
The advice is on cyber.gov.au. There's information there for scams, and I direct people to that website. It's the single source of truth from government on matters relating to cyber, and it's tailor-made for Australians out there who aren't sure what to do in these situations. And then you can also call the hotline and report and get advice there as well.